So let's see. Getting back to what we were talking about. Um, so we got the GNS3 running. I kind of tweaked it out, expanded it, loaded a desktop, loaded some packages. It just made sense to keep this as clean and simple as possible. That we have a running ASA, and then I thought, okay, well, if this connection is going to the GNS3 VM, then maybe I could load the ASDM application to communicate with the ASA through this NAC cloud. And that's pretty much what we've got going on here. So if you look at, if we jump back into my virtual machine, the big problem that I had with communicating with the ASA, and this happens to be with the ASA, is when you try to SSH to the ASA, the ASA uses an old Diffie-Hellman group, key, and so what I had to do is, no, that's not it. Let me find that. Yeah, so what I had to do was basically add the Diffie-Hellman, and then there we go. Yeah, so that was part of the problem, was just negotiating. But once I was able to get that connection, from the GNS3 acting as the client back to the ASA, which is showing up in GNS3, now it was about, okay, well, let's see if I could get the ASDM image to install. And man, that took a lot of work. That's an entire discussion later, and that's what this is right here. So I got to play with permission sets, and that's kind of what I'm saying is so great about sandboxing. You have some production security appliance, but you don't want to blow up the production version. You want to spin up a sandbox and screw around and just totally destroy this thing. And so what we're looking at right here is I was tweaking out, permission levels. I mean, I could do an entire video just on how to manipulate and do all this stuff, but just showing you what I've been working on. I was just kind of checking out user accounts, and I was trying out this whole privilege level 5. So I don't know if you know this about ASA, but ASA really, the ASDM only has 3 flavors. It's privilege level 2, 5, and 15. And I'm like, oh, what's the difference with all those? And so, you kind of test out, and then you start thinking, oh, is there a way I can customize some of these privilege levels? And you actually can. But the idea was to give more visibility to the security appliance to people that are in the team, but you don't want them mucking around with the ASA. So this was kind of the whole idea of building the sandbox, and it did its job. That's exactly, what I kind of going full circle. I think people were just years and years and years, maybe even a decade ahead of me, understanding what the importance of having an emulator like GNS3 is. But now I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, everything works. This was kind of fun. Let's start throwing up some YouTubes on how to get to that point. So this is, like I said, it looks deceptively simple. It's really not. It's really not. I would argue this little thing, like, and this is the thing that's great. On the surface, you're going to watch or read some brilliant dude, and I'm not going to name names. he spits out all these videos on, oh, how great it is, but never gets into the nuances of building the sandbox. And now you can kind of see the kind of work and effort it takes to engineer the sandbox. And it's really misleading to someone who's new, especially to emulating networks, what all goes into it. So unfortunately, new people are like, okay, I'm going to download this how-to guide, and then it's going to get me here, and then I'm going to get to do this. No. What this is about is sandboxes. You have to already have accomplished a certain level of networking, software support, basically have worked on a DevOps team to kind of appreciate the scope that just a sandbox provides for the right person. The wrong person is someone who is not dedicated, just wants to get something to run and pass a certification. So that's not what this is about. This is about appreciating sandboxes and appreciating the people and the time it took to build them. And so there's been some people that are just absolutely phenomenally brilliant. I'm hoping maybe this might be the platform to talk about how they came across it. If you guys want to post or share a sandbox and share with me the little nuances, we can have a discussion, kind of share each other. Because this is really an enthusiasts page, right? This is really what it's all about, is really getting to understand the deeper things about networking and IT. And I think it's completely doable on your own. Some people just can read a book and just memorize it. That's not who I am. I've got to get my hands in it. I got to touch it. I got to feel it. I got to know what the heck I'm dealing with before I feel comfortable about managing it or managing people that manage it. So that's pretty much in a nutshell ASA version 2. But in future videos, I could talk about how I got this to work, how this works. Why did I set up the GNS3 with this? There's so many things with this GNS3 VM that is far and away better than anything else that GNS3 has out right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't even think. And we could go over that in the series. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for viewing.